Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this exciting edition of the BigAtom webinar series. Creative excellence and robust signals are at the core of meta performance today. In a world of shortening attention spans and increasing privacy restrictions, the brands that win are the ones who embrace automation, make data driven decisions in response to real time data, and effectively bridge the gap between online and offline actions. In today's session, we'll show you exactly how to do that with real world examples, use cases, and tech that is making growth effortless for top brands today. So let's quickly take a look at the today's agenda. First up, we'll hear from Bhavay from Libas as he shares their journey of scaling performance using Meta's catalog API. Then, Anshuk will dive into the core use cases of creative automation and how brands can scale using Meta's catalog APIs. Following this, Neha will walk us through offline conversions API and how it bridges the attribution gap to complete the omnichannel loop. Finally, Anshuk will conclude with Signals Gateway, how it unifies first party data with Meta's signal framework to boost accuracy and performance. So let's get things started with a quick poll. You'll see it on your screens now. What percentage of your current spends on Meta go on catalog linked ads? Less than 20%, 20 to 50%, or more than 50%? Thanks for participating. It seems most of you are spending a considerable amount of spends on your catalog ads. So let's dive in to see how you can make the most out of it using Meta's APIs. I would now like to invite Bhavay to share how Libas achieved tremendous growth by embracing creative automation at scale. Bhavay, over to you.
Hey, hi everyone. Hi, this is Bhavay. I lead the product management and e-commerce for Libas. I've been associated with the brand since last 4+ years. I manage complete D2C and marketplace vertical, both and domestic and international at the same time. Libas, I'm assuming you mostly know, it is an ethnic wear brand, women's ethnic wear brand. So we are an omni-channel brand, present across multiple marketplaces, D2C, offline. In case of offline, we have EBOs and MBO and LFS as well. We started our journey with marketplaces first in 2013. When we grew the business considerably, then we thought of launching other touch points, which started off with D2C website in 2020, which also contributing significantly good amount of business as of today. Uh, in total, we do somewhere close to 800 crore GMV last year for the e-commerce vertical for Libas, out of which D2C contributes 200 plus crores. And we have also recently expanded into international territory. We're doing somewhere close to 20 crore business in the international market as well. And this is what we are. We are launching different channels, EBOs, MBO, LFS, uh, quick commerce, and we're planning to launch quick commerce on the own website as well. This is how we are planning to have a omni-channel presence across all different touch points available. Uh, I'm sure if we can move on to the next slide, please. Talking about how overlay has helped us in achieving the efficiency. So, see, majorly, there are two types of ads. One is a collection ad, another one is catalog ads. In case of catalog, also you can have a custom carousel as well. But why APIs help us scale up the business with efficiencies? Because we're into fashion vertical, and it has a lot of sizes, and the depth is also very high, and it gets very difficult to manage all of it manually. So with this APIs in place, we're able to APIs, Meta APIs are able to pull the best performing styles with the healthy ratio of inventory and the sizes, and then try to show the same products to the consumers. And at the same time, it does not require somebody to click on that link and then go to the website first. You will be able to do it on the same time, and even you're scrolling the web Meta and Instagram. And the best part about overlays is that it gives you an element wherein, in case of collection, you can create a creative. But in case of catalog APIs and catalog ads, you're able to show the call outs with the overlays in place, and you can mention whatever you wanted. And the good part is that it does not get into the learning phase. It directly gets into the feed, and that's the good part about it, that it does not take a lot of time to get into the learnings, and then eventually gives us the required outcome when it comes to the OS. So this is what it has helped us, and we have been able to increase our CTR rate over time by 23%, and eventually the ROAS has also been very much better throughout the journey of scaling up the D2C business. I think this is about it. Over to you, Anshuk.
Yes, thank you so much, Bhavay. Um, I'll just talk about, and thank you so much, Harleen, as well. Maybe a quick intro about me. I'm one of the founders of AdYogi. Been in the performance marketing space for over 10 plus years now. Have been working very closely with the Meta as a key partner, and also with Libas has been one of our clients. So working closely with Bhavay as well. We will be covering two key, I would say, levers of growth, as Harleen mentioned today. We just heard from Bhavay on some of the success stories of how Libas has used overlays in scaling during the big sale events as well. I'll talk a little bit about some of the core API use cases which AdYogi has built on top of Meta APIs, and a lot of the credit goes to the partnership we have had with Meta over the last few years. Post that, I'll also hand it over to Neha, who is a partner manager, to probably take up the CAPI piece. But first, I think on the creative automation piece. Happy to take any questions. Please feel free to keep sending the questions. So these are some of the challenges which we also heard Bhavay speak about when he was talking about Libas. But we have seen these challenges across multiple brands. And I would like each of you to sort of think through them. The first one we have seen is a lot of times when we run catalog ads over a long period of time, we see that the CTR rates tend to drop because it's the same set of products you may be running over a longer period of time. We saw this in one of the brands like Dressfolk when we work with them. A common challenge we have seen is that the learning gets reset when we are applying overlays during some of the major events. And we saw this when we worked with Bewakoof. Even Bhavay spoke about it briefly. We saw that sometimes, a lot of times, by default, overlays don't show on Instagram. When brands are launching their new collections, they may want to call out these as new collections. We came across this with Sephora when they launched their Kylie collection around, I would say, 6 months back. We also see a lot of influencer video content remains get unutilized. So imagine you have an influencer shoot, you have like videos of 10, 20, 30 products. You're not able to route them to your catalog ads. You may be running individual video ads, but that's very hard to scale. This is a common challenge we came across with Malmal. And again, editing a lot of ads at scale when you are switching between events like Black Friday or Cyber Monday, this is also a challenge which we keep facing. So these are some of the challenges we have seen when we work with large catalog brands over the last few years. I want maybe all of you to take one more quick poll, that have you faced any of these challenges for your brand, or which of these challenges do you relate to most when you are running catalog ads and trying to scale them across platforms? So Harleen has already sort of fired the poll. Feel free to add in your answers. So we have a lot of people talking about influencer videos remain underutilized. This is also one of the very favorite challenge which I come across because I was talking to brands like Malmal, Libas multiple times. Many times they have like videos across 50 products, 100 products, and it becomes almost impossible to route them to the ad campaigns because creating 50 ads of individual videos and managing them becomes very difficult at scale. So roughly 40% of the people have said, spoken about influencer video. 40% has said CTR drop in catalog ads, and learning phase reset happens to be for 20% of the people. Manual editing is not a challenge. Instagram overlay is not a challenge, looks like. So great. I think this is what we have heard across people. I'll just probably jump into my subsequent slides. So these are five solutions we have come across, and I thought I'll speak about them one by one. So number one key point, that catalog ads by default do not need to run only on website images. I understand when if you're running a Shopify store, you can sync your catalog from Shopify store directly to Meta. and the default catalog ads run on website images. But the problem with website images is beyond a certain period of time, the website images remain the same. So the click rate starts to drop over a period of time. So very few people know this, that you can actually route all your influencer content back to Meta using catalog APIs. It can also be done via manual upload into the Meta catalog as a supplementary feed. And the moment you do that, all the catalog ads now show richer images. These could be user generated images, these could be influencer images, these could be outdoor photo shoots, these could be also AI generated images. So all of it is now possible to be run on catalog ads. And every time when we have updated images into catalog ads, we see click rates going up. We saw the same when we worked with Dress Folk. So that's the first sort of tech which we have built on top of Meta APIs. The second one is a common problem we have heard brands say. This was for Bewakoof when they did their birthday month special. So they wanted to update that Bewakoof turns 12 in all their ad copies. Now imagine running like 50 to 100 different campaigns on Meta or ads on Meta and trying to add this Bewakoof turns 12 in all of them. The big challenge there is the moment we change a creative or an ad, it goes back into learning and leads to a lot of fluctuation. So what can be done is you can actually update the image with Bewakoof turns 12 directly into the catalog using the catalog API. And this we saw that they were able to increase their CTR by 18%, increase their ROS by 20%, 24%. But more importantly, when the creative was uploaded directly into the Meta catalog, the ads did not go back into learning. And the key reason is catalog refresh or catalog updates are not treated as a major change. So ads don't go back into learning. So this is, I would say, one of the smarter strategies which a lot of brands are using to update at scale. The third is we spoke about Instagram in the beginning, but the third is actually a sort of a byproduct that if you update the image on the catalog, the same image tends to appear on Instagram as well. So this is the Kylie launch which Sephora had done, where they put a nice overlay of Kylie cosmetics on top of all their images of Kylie catalog. And because they updated the catalog image itself, this was very nicely showing on Instagram. And as you can see, they saw a 103% increase in click-through rates by being able to show Instagram overlays. This, I think, because 42% of you mentioned about video and influencer videos. This is actually, again, like I said, one of the favorite features I have been utilizing on top of Meta APIs. So we can actually now, using API, send up to 20 videos for every SKU. And this feature is called as PLV, product level videos. The interesting part is why should catalog have only images? Why can't catalog have videos? So this was rolled out over the last couple of years. Many brands today, when they do influencer video shoots, they have videos for, let's say, 50 of their products, 100 of their products. These can be sent back to Meta using APIs. They can also be uploaded using supplementary feed on top of Meta catalog. Each SKU can be mapped to 20 videos. And the beauty is when we send this video content to the catalog linked ads start showing images or videos as per Meta algorithm. So if a person is more likely to respond on a video, they start seeing videos. If he or she is more likely to respond on an image, they start seeing images. The next best part is if any of the products go out of stock, by nature, Meta drops the product from the catalog ads. So if you were running individual videos across 50 creatives, they need to be manually paused if the product goes out of stock. In this case, they can be automatically removed from the catalog. So there's a lot of ease which comes when we start running video catalog ads. And in this specific case, we saw 21% lower cost per purchase, 45% increase in ROAS by routing videos of individual products back to Meta. And as you can see in the video at the right, this is a nice video carousel. When you scroll through every product is a video. The last fifth one, which I want to talk about today, is for BFCM. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a very big event. We saw that brands like Aza Fashion, Rare Rabbit, many of them participated in BFCM last year. This is 2024 BFCM. And one of the common challenges is switching between Black Friday and Cyber Monday becomes a challenge because you may have a different offer for Black Friday and a different offer for Cyber Monday. We saw this that manually, if you have to switch it, you'll have to update each of these creatives. But if you update the image in the catalog directly, then the switch from Black Friday to Cyber Monday can happen effortlessly. And a lot of, I would say, man hours goes into manually switching these creatives, which can be avoided by using the catalog APIs. So these are the 5 use cases I wanted to cover today. I also want to probably spend a minute on how the tech works in the backend so that everybody is able to sort of relate to how it works. So this is a 3-step sort of a process which can potentially be done from the backend. Number one is select the base image. Now a big call out there is the base image does not have to be website image. It can be influencer or UGC image. It can also be a video like we just spoke about. Number two is we can actually apply any messaging on top of the image as an overlay. Like in this particular case, this bestseller at $60 is the messaging we want to do. We can apply it on top of the image itself. And the same image can now be sent to the catalog using Meta Catalog APIs. And when we do that, 3 benefits come. They show on Instagram. There is no learning which gets reset. And it saves a lot of time in manually editing these ads. So that was what I wanted to cover in the first section. We have a poll before I hand it over to Neha. Are you currently sending any offline signals to Meta? So this is basically for everybody who is present here. If you have an offline store or you have any offline presence, are you sending any data from your offline stores back to Meta? And this data could also be any offline signal. For example, it could be whether the product has got delivered or not. It could also be information about, let's say, if you're doing a lead gen campaign, then did you have a store visit or did you have a site visit eventually? So it could be any information which goes in from the real world back to the Meta campaigns. We'll probably take a few minutes for people to respond. At the moment, 20% of the people seem to be sending any offline information back to Meta. 80% of the people are not sending it. So definitely something which could be of super interest for the joinees, attendees today. We'll just probably wait for, I think, 30 seconds more for everybody to respond. Perfect. So roughly, I think 80% of the people have said no, 20% yes, pretty much sort of the ratio remains the same. So that sort of brings me to the end of the first section. The second is more around signal accuracy. These are the top 2 levers, as I mentioned in the beginning, which we have figured out when working with Meta. Number one was how do you make sure that you scale your creatives? But the number two is how do you make sure that the signals we send to the Meta are accurate? We have realized that a lot of targeting today happens via Advantage Plus. So one of the biggest levers to scale your targeting is actually to send the right signals to Meta. So I'd like to invite Neha, who is our partner manager at Meta, to introduce herself and sort of take us through what is the importance of web and offline conversion API and how can brands benefit from it. Back to you, Neha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anshuk. I think the result kind of says that we need more learnings about what offline CAPI is, because probably 80% of the advertisers, and rather more in large numbers of advertisers that we see, are not sending offline signals yet from real world to real world, as Anshuk said. But I would like to introduce myself first before delving into the importance of it. So I'm Neha Gupta. I am an agency partner at Meta, and I've been with Meta for about 6.5 years, and really excited to bring the next where the next era of growth would also come in, and the data signal quality is one of the primary aspects to it. So we'll go to next slide, Anshuk. Okay, so before I go in specifically for data signals and accuracy, I just wanted to flash five very, very important things. If you are a performance marketer on Meta, there are five things to remember. One, account simplification. Do not make your campaign so small that it's not able to work hard for you. Consolidate a lot of things and bring a lot of consolidation in your account to simplify your structure. Second is automation. Anshuk spoke about it. Lot of media is now on Advantage Plus, which is leveraging the Meta AI suite. Then is creative diversification. I think creative is the source of all performance and brand outcomes that happen on Meta. So how do you diversify your creative strategy? Fourth is data quality, which is actually the premise of everything that you build your performance campaigns on, which we will deep dive today. And then results validation. How do you actually leverage number-based measurement onto your campaign rather than just your hunch on solving for media objectives and business objectives on your campaigns? So we'll go into data quality. Next slide. So in data quality, there are two aspects. There's pixel, and I assume that 99.9% people who are doing performance campaigns would be aware about pixels already. But cut to the evolved version of pixel is also conversions API, which is server to server integration, and there are four parts to it. There's website CAPI. CAPI is conversions API. The full form of it is conversions API. There is CAPI CRM. If you have your CRM and if you want to link it via APIs, then it's CAPI CRM. Then there's offline CAPI, which is where today we are going to talk about a lot more. And then there's WhatsApp CAPI, in case there is a business which is built also on WhatsApp, which is one of the platforms for brands. Then there's WhatsApp API as well. So next slide. Why should we actually do that? Anshuk, next slide. Can you hear me, Anshuk? Yes. Okay. So why should we actually do that? It is for up-leveling your performance. I think the basis of media marketing, just reaching out to people who want to buy from you, versus how do you elevate your media strategies to more effectively reaching new or existing customers who want exactly what you want to offer, and you can do the conversion attribution in order to prove it as well. So if you look at it, there is a transition and evolution that your media strategies was also come in. Anshuk, next slide. And why are we saying that it is important? So one, I think Meta platforms have come in as one of the biggest sources of discovery of platform, or not just for .coms, but also for offline purchases. Like 84% of shoppers that we surveyed made at least one purchase in store after finding about that brand on social media. Or they have more propensity, as much as 34% more spends happening when they are seeing a brand online and purchasing it offline. And also they have 70% more propensity to have repeat purchases. So there is no separate in-store or .com strategy. It's all merged because the user is the same. And the kind of digital evolution that's happening, both of them are merging very, very fast and are already merged. Next slide, please. What exactly is CAPI? CAPI is essentially that any of your channels, whether there is a physical store, there's your website, there's messaging, or your app, your customer is making engagements on any of your owned assets. Then there are your marketing data, the way that you are collecting it from your media campaigns or even organically. There could be chats happening, there could be email purchases or lead or phone call or any other way that they are contacting you. Then it loads on your server or your CRM, Then is your server to server integration in terms of conversions API, and it goes back to meta technologies. The more you are able to feed in, the harder your campaigns work for you. And we have seen that just moving from pixel to CAPI or just adding CAPI, there's 19% more attributed purchase events because there are more signals coming in which were blocked by browsers or people are clearing their cookies, etc. Next slide. And there is utmost importance now for retail advertisers specifically, or any brand which has offline presence, because that is getting into omni-channel performance for your brands. One, you can leverage ad targeting and audiences to drive audiences and purchases to your store. You can see total impact of your advertising across online and offline sales channel, like how much are you spending on Meta and how many people are actually coming onto your offline store. So the attribution can also happen. And you can actually reach your customers where they want to shop. And like I said, that there is strong correlation when they see an ad on Meta versus how much they are spending in store. And this is actually one of the foundations where you can run a lot more evolved campaigns for your omni-channel strategies. Offline CAPI is one of the primary bases for that. Next slide, please, Anshul. And what are the best practices when you run your conversions API? So one, I think very, very important, and one of the top priorities is to send email and phone number, because these are the strong match keys, and which is what will decide your match quality also when you finally upload that number, because that's the basis where entire matching also happens. The freshness of data, like hourly is the best practice, but at minimum try sending it daily. Includes order ID, which is where you'll get to know what's the kind of AOV that's happening, which is the kind of store, so entire details around your orders that are there. And then you can start tracking your offline events for existing and new customers as well. So more attribution, more reading of data can also happen once the offline signals also start coming in. Next slide. And like I said, the more stronger the data, the better. Like attach your receipt, the order ID data in terms of if there is any rewards that are there, if they are part of any loyalty program. The more attributes that you are able to send in, the more cuts you'll be able to make and better media you will be able to run. So though all those can be subset of your data points when you upload those on Meta. And then you can also see the attribution in terms of percentage of sales exposed to Meta, and you'll be able to see exact dollar value being attributed when you run your media campaigns, and how much they are actually getting attributed to your offline conversions. Next slide. And like I said, there are two paths to running your offline campaign: attributed in-store sale and incremental in-store sales. Now, one, that if you today have your conversions API, one, you will know how much Meta is contributing to your offline store traffic as well as your conversions. Second, you can also leverage, there is a new feature coming in called incrementality in H2, which you can leverage to drive incremental in-store sales, which otherwise wouldn't have come if you weren't doing, Meta advertising, which you can also leverage. Next slide. And this is how it will look like, because most of you are not using offline omni-channel setup or offline CAPI. This is how it will look like. These are new columns that you'll start seeing once offline data also starts coming in. Offline purchases, offline purchase conversion, and cost per purchase. So literally everything that you were seeing for .com will be available for your offline stores as well. So it's right time to actually start delving into that strategy before festive hits in. So today is the setup time. Contact AdYogi for setting up that feature. That's it. And Anshuk, over to you.
Thank you so much, Neha. This was a very good crash course on web and offline conversion API. And again, like Neha mentioned, a very strong call out that brands should move towards web and offline conversion API. What I'll talk about in the next 3-4 slides before we move on to the panel discussion is, or audience Q&A, if I may call so, is actually the signals gateway capability, which we have built alongside Meta, and we have hosted it for brands to do web and offline conversion API. This is, of course, a split between web and offline CAPI. I want to clearly call out that for stores for brands here which have offline stores, of course, offline CAPI is super critical. But even if you don't have offline store, it's important to focus on web CAPI itself. What can it do? So there is this whole concept of event match quality. And we have seen that every time when the EMQ, which is event match quality scores, go above 8.5, it leads to improved targeting and attribution accuracy. Um, Many of you must be using Advantage Plus campaigns also. The EMQ score feeds into the Advantage Plus campaign and makes sure that Meta has the right signals to optimize your campaign. So I know brands often ask me that what is the niche audience on Meta which you can today target to get best ROS? The answer is leave the audience to Advantage Plus, but make sure you're sending the right signals to Meta. On the web front, these is the 4 very interesting use cases we have seen. Why should brands go for web CAPI in addition to improving the EMQ score? Number one, you can actually send information whether it was a delivered order or an RTO order. So you can actually send that information. You can also send information whether it was an cash on delivery order or a prepaid order, because this information is very critical. We see RTOs being quite high for a lot of brands. So you can compare campaign 1 versus campaign 2. And a lot of times you might face that the tier 1 campaign is actually getting you more online orders, and maybe the tier 2 campaign is getting you more CODs. So you can allocate your budgets according to that. New versus returning users, very important. Which campaign is driving more new customer acquisition and which campaign is getting you more repeats. And then, of course, you can also pass on your profit data back to Meta. You can send LTV information back to Meta, which can help brands optimize for an LTV than just optimize for the order value. So these are some advanced use cases which brand can do today with web CAPI, something which was not possible just with Pixel. Because with Pixel, we were sending information just from the browser back to Meta. Here we are sending information from the offline ecosystem or offline world back to Meta. And offline world has all this information residing in CRM systems of brands, which can now be sent back. This is a quick sort of a success or a case study. We did this for Malmal, one of the brands we've been working with. And we saw that the event match quality score actually improved and it went up to 8.6. This was roughly a 48% improvement in EMQ. While it's very difficult to measure the impact of EMQ on ROAS, because ROS is dependent on a lot of factors, we did see an improvement in return on ad spend as the event match quality score went up. So would highly recommend brands to consider using the web CAPI feature. Maybe a good call out here to be is just number one, be aware of your EMQ. And if the EMQ is less than 8.5, then clearly there is more improvement possible there. This is similar to what Neha also showed. With offline CAPI, now in the ad account itself, you can actually see offline purchases and offline ROAS. So brands will now be able to see the halo effect of the current web campaigns. How much of a revenue and footfall are they driving into offline stores? And just to call it out, all the campaigns which are grayed out here, these are actually online campaigns. These are brand.com campaigns which you are already running to drive sales to your D2C store. The same campaigns are having an halo effect of driving footfall and revenue, which can now be measured. And this is the last call out is if we get the offline CAPI, you can actually run store revenue campaigns as well. So if you see on the right side, this is a video recording of an ad, store revenue ad of a brand called Twamev. So you see this nice image of a store, you see get directions as the call out. When we click on get directions, it takes you to the Google Maps or the Apple Maps, and it takes you to the get directions screen. The interesting part here is if the user eventually walks into the store and makes a purchase, with the offline CAPI, this information can be sent back and we can see what sort of a revenue were we able to drive from these store hyperlocal store footfall campaigns. So in this particular case, we saw that there was a 30% reduction in cost per store visit across platforms. just by getting the right offline CAPI integration done. So that sort of brings me to the end of this, and I'll hand it over to Harleen to take up the panel.
So here's a quick look at some special moments from the API Playbook launch held at the Meta office in Mumbai. It was truly an insightful and collaborative event that brought together some of the brightest minds in e-commerce and tech. Can we have the next slide? And the best part, you don't have to miss out. We have made the API Playbook available for you as well. Simply scan the QR code to download your copy and explore how you can leverage these powerful tools to drive smarter, more automated catalog strategies. Now we're opening the floor for your questions. Drop them in the chat for Bhavay, Neha, or Anshuk, and we'll take them up live. I'd request everyone to please send in their questions if they have any. So we have one question. What were the major learnings from the Purple Day sale that helped scale performance during the event? Bhavay, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, sure. So see, Purple Day sale event happens twice a year. First half and second half H1 and H2, February, March, and July, August. What happens is that it is a 9 day event, and you have to scale up the campaigns a lot. Your spending almost gets double during this time point of time. And when you do that rigorously, the ROAS gets impacted. That's when you look at the automation tools. How do you make use of technology in place and show the right things? And even when you're scaling it up, you do not compromise on the ROAS quality because that matters a lot. So that's when Meta APIs and overlays help us a lot in showing the right uh, call outs without impacting the learning of the campaigns, and then it makes it easier for us to scale up much faster, and it helps us in getting the right or higher CTRs, eventually getting into the right ROAS. So I think using these technologies in place, overlays and APIs, we have been able to maximize the ROAS that we were aiming to achieve, and that's how it has been helpful during the PDS time.
Right. Thank you so much, Bhavay. So we have the next question for Neha. So Neha, by sending delivery data or RTO data, it will optimize for high quality orders or just improve matching rates or score quality.
Yeah, I think it's also called deep funnel optimizations. The more granular data you are able to send, you will be able to optimize for that as well. Like if there are more return orders, then you can start optimizing for more non-return orders, or a similar use case for prepaid or COD. So you can optimize more campaigns for prepaid as well. So it's deep funnel optimization. I can choose to optimize for whichever is the suitable for business.
Got it. The next question we have is for Bhavay. Libas has seen strong growth across all channels, including quick commerce. What have been the key best practices in driving success across these platforms?
See, every channel has its own pros and cons, and there are different ways to grow the channel. Marketplaces works very differently. We do not have much of a performance marketing campaigns where you can plan to run it in case of marketplace. It is mostly a closed-driven ecosystem where you can run PLA and PC or these kind of ads. So I think when you have to be very much channel agnostic, what kind of channel you are in operating in, and then use the right set of marketing tools that are made available for you. Marketplaces works differently. In case of D2C, it is not just performance marketing, it is retention marketing, SEO, and then conversion rate optimization, and making sure that the funnel is smooth as faster checkout, and then in right inventory set in place. You're showing the right set of products. The creatives plays a key role. The way we have you've seen the use cases of overlays, so all these stitched together to give you a good ROAS and eventually helps you achieve the profitability at the same time. Similarly, for offline, in case of EBOs, obviously the fixed cost remains high during the launch of the store. How do you, I mean, the way we have discussed so far, how the meta campaigns can help us scale up the business at a much faster pace, even during day one. That makes and breaks the things very well, and that defines the the structure of that store in the longer run. In a similar manner for MBLFS as well. And quick commerce again, we are planning to roll it out on the one website. We are live on Zepto as well. we have seen a very good learning so far. What kind of locations are picking up really well in top of the metro cities, and that's how we are planning to have our own central dark stores. The way the likes of Meta and Zepto, Blinkit and Zepto open their dark stores to scale up the business to ensure that they're able to deliver it at a faster pace. We're planning to launch a central dark stores, and we're going to expose our inventory to all these quick commerce channels to ensure that we are delivering at a much faster pace, because it gets very difficult to replicate and park the inventory into any of these dark stores, because there are, let's say, 5 6 channels, all of them have 100 dark stores, and you have one style have 6 sizes, so you cannot have 3600 inventory just for one SKU. So which is why, in order to scale up the quick commerce segment, we are planning to have a central dark stores which is going to be managed by us. That's how we plan to scale it up. So this is how marketplace, D2C, offline, and quick commerce, we're planning to scale it up the way all these different channels works.
Got it. Thank you so much, Bhavya, for your answer. Anshuk, the next question we have is for you. Can you elaborate more on the tech behind the catalog API?
Yes, yes, of course. Uh, so, um, so all these things can be done via two things. One, there is something called a content API, which is a part of Meta's catalog API suite, which effectively lets you update any content in the catalog for a particular SKU ID. So imagine sending a small API ping or HTTP API in the language of tech with the product SKU ID as the unique identifier, and any content which you would like to update in the catalog for that particular SKU ID. Now, what could this content be? It could be the base image, it could be adding videos, it could be sending a new image with an overlay on top of the base image. All this can be done using content API. So if you want to update it for, let's say, 100 products, we may have to hit it 100 times with each of those 100 product SKU IDs to update that individual information. So that's one way of doing that. I would also call it out that there is an alternate way as well, which is called a supplementary feed. So for brands present here, to start off, I would say supplementary feed is an easier solution. Think of it as a batch upload using an Excel file into the Meta ecosystem. The only limitation is supplementary feed, because it's a batch upload, it's not a real-time thing. But to start off, I would suggest go with supplementary feed. Once you want to scale it, use the batch APIs of content API for Meta. And happy to really jump on a call and walk you through how it can be done using tech. Back to you, Harleen.
Got it. Thank you so much, Anshul. I would request everyone to please submit in their questions if they have any. We have one question. What are the key benefits of using Meta's offline conversions API? Neha, would you like to take this one up?
I think the benefit of using offline conversions API, is the question for offline or just Cappy? Offline, Harleen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So one, that you can get your attribution from your Meta spends, like how much how many people are coming to your store after looking at your Meta ad. Second is you can attribute it to sales. You can literally have your ROAS as well, that how many people are seeing your ad on Meta versus how many people are going and purchasing, and you can calculate your ROAS. Third is your incrementality. You can build your campaigns basis how much incremental people are coming onto your coming onto your stores and purchasing, which is what is coming in H2 as part of beta. You will be able to optimize for incrementality as well. So those are the benefits.
Got it. Thank you, Neha. Bhavay, we have one question for you. What all challenges were you able to solve with Meta's APIs to make the most of creators during the Purple Day sale?
So creative, as we have discussed, we have overlays in place, and it allows you to run it dynamically. You just have to enable the keywords, what kind of call outs, what kind of color specifically. I mean, that's very standard in nature. And the way we spend on Meta and Google during that point of time, and it requires a lot of campaigns at the same time. So it saves a lot of bandwidth for us to scale up the campaigns without relying much on a graphic design team to work on those creatives, considering you just need to pull out certain things and that can go make it live using the overlays in place. So I think reducing the efforts of team and then ensuring the right creatives, right call outs are in place without a lot of dependence on the manual people. I think that's how it has helped us scale up the campaign.
Got it. Anshuk, we have one question for you. How is using BigAtom for catalog overlays different from setting them up directly on Meta?
I think the key difference there is, like I showed in one of the slides, that we actually update the base image itself. And the benefit of updating the base image is any catalog changes are not considered as ad level or creative level changes. So the ads and creatives don't go back into learning. And because we changed the catalog image, it also shows on Instagram as well, because the same image is showing on Instagram. The second benefit is also that when we are updating the images, we can actually update it based on rules. And I'll tell you what I mean by updating based on rules. So imagine you have a catalog of, let's say, 1,000 products, and out of them, let's say 100 are the best sellers, and another 50 are the newly launched products, right? Now we can put a condition that any product which has, let's say, sold more than X units in the last 30 days, put a tag of bestseller on top of it. And any product which has been launched in the last, let's say, 60 days, put a tag of new arrivals on top of it. So these are like rule-based tags, and they also change on a real-time basis. So imagine the sales of a product go down, so it will stop getting qualified as bestseller. If it stops getting qualified as bestseller, the tag will remove, which means the overlay will remove from the ad copy. So it's a lot more dynamic. It's rule-based, more real-time, and it does not impact the learning as well. So that's the core, I would say, the capability we have built. And these could also be, I would say, data-driven overlays. So you can say products which, let's say, price point of more than 1999, or products in the discount range of 30 to 50%. Any of these conditions can be applied when deciding the overlays. So that's the key difference, I would say.
Got it. Thank you so much, Anshul. I'd request our audience to send in the questions if they have any. We'll just receive one question. Is CAPI limited for people using multiple numbers and email IDs? I mean if someone has multiple numbers and email IDs that to map with multiple Meta accounts or doesn't have an account, that will lower my EMQ. Neha, would you like to take this one up?
Yeah. I actually responded on the chat as well, Ujjwal. So what I'm not able to understand is you are saying that one person has multiple emails, multiple IDs, multiple accounts. That's actually very unlikely that the person is living multiple lives together. The ideal setup is that one person, one email ID, one phone number, it gets and one Meta account that gets matched. If there is any mismatch, for example, I used another number or another email ID and I'm using completely different when I go in store, that will not match. And in any case, there is no 100% match, and that's where the match numbers also come into play, right? So which is expected behavior, that not 100% of your TG would match, and those are these cases that you just put out.
Right. Ujjwal, I hope that answers your question. Any more questions from our audience side? Please feel free to drop them in our Q&A box. So with that, we come to the end of our webinar. Thank you to all our speakers, Bhavay, Anshuk, and Neha, for an amazing and insightful session. Thank you to everyone who joined us. We'll see you at the next webinar.